thought, okay, that's it. I'm killing it at my job. This is done deal, right? I'm getting raised and have a promising career. Little did I know, in a few months after I got the raise, I was going to be laid off. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to share with you a story about how I doubled my income after being laid off as a data scientist. It was quite a journey. So if you have lost your job in the last couple months or years, or you're experiencing this, I want to tell you that you are not alone. You can be where you want to be with just a little bit of guidance. Let me share with you the backstory. In June 2017, I finally got my first data scientist job after searching for 6 months. I sent out over 800 applications, revised my resume over 20 times, and did months of coaching sessions with my mentor and went through grueling interviews. I finally put my foot in the door and I was able to land a data scientist job that I was really excited about. I packed my bags and even relocated for this job. After joining the company, I dedicated so much time and energy to being the best I could be. I developed a really good relationship with my manager and even received a 30% increase in my salary within the first year, which was pretty rare in the organization. So I knew that I was a valuable and a competent employee, which gave me so much confidence. I thought, okay, that's it. I'm killing it at my job. This is done deal, right? I'm getting raised and have a promising career. Little did I know, in a few months after I got the raise, I was going to be laid off. In December 2018, my manager had a one-on-one with me and told me that the company had been facing some financial difficulties. We had lost 2 big clients in the last quarter and it wasn't profitable enough to keep the engineering department in the US. The company was going to cut the entire department and build it in another country. It means that I was going to be laid off in January, and not just me, but also my manager and my manager's manager. Everyone would lose their job. In fact, the entire engineering department would be laid off. So you can only imagine how much it impacted me when I suddenly found out that I was going to lose my job in a few months after receiving a raise, especially right before the Christmas holiday. I thought, you just offered to pay me more, and then suddenly the rug was put out from underneath me. So I was very shocked, surprised, and discouraged. I had a really good relationship with my manager and my skip level manager. Even though they enjoyed working with me and helped me get a salary raise, we just could not control what was happening in the business. It was cheaper to hire people in another country, and other jobs had to be outsourced for the company to be profitable. The reality was that companies have to make business decisions. These decisions are being made regardless of your skills and your performance and how committed and hardworking you are as an employee. Sometimes, even if you are as qualified as you might be, there are things beyond your control in your job. There's always a bottom line, and the bottom line is the profitability of the business. So if you're laid off, you might think to yourself, what if I were more invaluable? What if I were more hardworking? They wouldn't have let me go. But I think that's just one thing that applies to all of us. You know, no matter how qualified and hardworking you may be, or how much they might appreciate you, or the professional and personal relationships you may have developed at this job, at the end of the day, there are things that are beyond your control. So don't blame yourself. There are many things you don't know, and the decision was not made personally. So I was highly discouraged and shocked upon finding out I won't have a job in a few weeks, because I knew that I was a very competent employee. My self-esteem took a huge hit. Then I saw how my fellow data scientists and engineers who were laid off and my manager were highly encouraging, and I was motivated by them to dust myself off and put myself back out there and look for a new job. However, when I started searching for a new data science job opportunity, I was really panicked. The first time I looked for a new data science job was about 1.5 years ago, and the job requirements changed a lot. I realized that I wasn't as experienced as a data scientist as I thought I was. I saw that there were requirements that I had no experience with and no knowledge of. For example, I saw many job postings were from business to consumer or B2C companies, and they required candidates to have experience in product analytics, designing metrics, and A/B testing, which I had no idea about. So I was like, I thought I knew how to be a data scientist. And then I saw the job requirements. I was like, wait, I don't even know how to do any of this because I only had experience with a business-to-business or B2B company. My company was consulting other businesses, but almost all the job postings were from B2C companies, and it's understandable they wanted to hire data scientists who have experience with consumer products. After doing some research, I felt overwhelmed by all the new skills I needed to acquire, and I didn't even know where to get started. So after I calmed myself down and processed my emotions, I remembered how last time I was job searching, it was incredibly helpful for me to have a mentor on my side. So I decided to look for a mentor again. I believe that it was the best thing I had to do. I had to reach out to mentors to help guide me through the process. And I reached out to a few mentors I really trusted and see if anyone was willing to help. I needed to understand how I could be better prepared and appeal to companies that were looking for more consumer-based knowledge rather than business-to-business knowledge. I was so lucky that I was connected with a great mentor who was a senior data scientist working at a B2C company. And I realized within a few weeks of working with her that I had hired the perfect person that could help carry me through this whole job search journey. I finally felt supported by someone. I was aware of the fact that being laid off was out of my control because my manager was laid off, my manager's manager was also impacted. But I cannot help feeling defeated, and I didn't know exactly what to do to move forward. When I expressed my concerns to my mentor, she explained that this type of business decisions happen all the time, and she helped me reprioritize my focus into job search and preparation. Instead of focusing on why I was laid off, she took what I was feeling and helped me channel my energy into something more productive. For example, she helped me identify what knowledge I needed to acquire to be a competitive candidate on the job market and land my next job. She lifted me back up so I was able to take the necessary steps to move forward with her guidance. Now, I mentioned the knowledge gap I had. I had some experience in a B2B company, and I never had experience in developing a consumer-facing product. So I didn't know how to acquire the skill sets that were required in most job postings, and also which skill sets specifically were most helpful for many jobs in a consumer-based company. My mentor gave me practical advice and tangible directions. She helped me bridge the gap between what I knew and what I needed to learn in order to land a new job with different requirements. She gave me tangible advice such as which books to read, which courses to take, and what exactly I needed to acquire in terms of skills that would make me most appealing to most employers. All of that information was highly invaluable to me as it saved me so much time, and it was much more accurate than if I were looking for information online. If you're curious, I do have all of those books listed in my YouTube videos, such as the best data science books and books to build your product sense, understand product management, how to design metrics and experiments, etc. Another thing I was not confident about was my interview skills. I haven't been interviewing for a long time because the first job I got was that job. It was like 1.5 years ago. My interview skills were kind of rusty. My mentor coached me on how to prepare for interviews and be confident in interviews, and she shared lots of practical tips for cracking interviews. What was amazing was that after about 5 to 6 mock interview sessions with her, when I was looking at our session recordings, my improvement was obvious. My overall confidence and communication skills improved a lot. Within a week after I worked with my mentor, I landed an offer from another B2B company. It was very appealing because I was discouraged and panicked, and they offered me a higher compensation. However, I saw that most of the job postings that were out there, and they demanded a more diverse and different skill set. I knew deep down that the same issue might arise in the future unless I diversify my skill sets. I knew I wanted to reject that offer because working at a B2C company seemed like a more logical transition for my career, and I had already dedicated time to learning this. So I confirmed with my mentor, and she agreed. Then I rejected my first job offer, which came with a higher compensation package. It was during the holiday season, and I did not hear back from any companies for a month. So I had a little bit of doubt and started to second guess my decision to reject that offer. I was very worried I was not going to land any offer anytime soon. Thankfully, my mentor helped me again to reprioritize my focus. She told me hiring is slow during the holiday season and there will be new opportunities in the new year. Instead of worrying, I should take the time to develop my skill sets so that I will be more ready. And it turned out to be the best advice I ever got. Within the next 1.5 months, I was able to land 3 job offers, all of which were from B2C companies and in line with my newer skills. And I was super happy to join any of those companies. And I chose the one that I thought was best suited for me, which was Airbnb. And I was able to double my income. So with the right guidance, I was able to succeed, and the skills I learned in the process was super valuable. Looking back, losing my job was one of the best things that happened in my career because it gave me the opportunity to grow. In one of my previous videos, I shared my story about how I landed my first data science job. If you're interested, feel free to watch it. And that time, it took me 6 months to land 2 job offers. And this time, it only took me 2 months and I got 4 offers and was able to double my income. I realized the importance of working with a mentor even more because sometimes you want to land a new job as soon as possible, especially when the time is tight and you want to do things efficiently. You don't want to waste your time doing some random stuff, right? It's gonna be really effective if you know what to do and what not to do and have someone in your corner to know exactly what you need to succeed. After receiving all this help and understanding how much it changed my career and life, I told myself, one day I wanted to be a mentor as well. And now I am. So I'm very, very fortunate to be able to help people in the same way that I was once helped. Now, I know that many people are losing their jobs and getting laid off. I know that many of you may be in the same position I was 4 years ago. I hope that my story can give you some hope and motivation. I was able to get a great job after being laid off, and I'm confident that with a little guidance, you guys can do it too. Thank you so much for listening to my story. Please feel free to like and subscribe. I wish you a great day, a great career, and a great life ahead. I will see you in the next video.